Hi there, and welcome back to the sideboard here at Star City Games, Edison, New Jersey. I am joined by Dustin Taylor, and you are playing Red, White, Blue Geist. Delver.
Playing Delver.
Yeah, Delver and Geist together again at last.
Absolutely.
But this time in Legacy. So talk to me a little bit about the genesis of this particular version of Delver.
Okay, so I still want to play Delver to get the jump on all the combo decks and still have like a net draw. But I didn't want to play like Rug Delver because I don't think Goyf's very good in the Jund matchup. So I wanted like a hexproof creature. I want like Geist Sustain Trap, something that they can't really deal with. And I also think Stifle is really good in this format, which takes advantage of really well in this deck. So since like Jund's mana base is really, really spread out, you know, they have to play him, they have to play, you know, Elf on 4, and they have to play like Liliano, which is like the only out they have to Geist. You know, Stifle Wasteland gets a lot better while Stifle's still good against the combo decks too.
Right.
So
yeah, there's a lot of combo in the room.
Yeah.
Possibly more combo here in this tournament than I've ever seen in any tournament.
Yeah, it's been a while since.
There's a ton of Oops All spells, Belcher, Storm, a lot of Dredge actually too, and you are running 10 counterspells main deck.
Yes.
To be able to deal with that.
Yep.
Whereas a lot of people aren't playing Force of Will main deck,
Right.
because as a response to Jund.
Right.
Do you think that it's better to have hedged against the Jund decks that won last week, or the decks that people came with to beat Jund?
I think you want to hedge a little bit more towards Jund. At least Force of Will game one, at least for what I'm doing. I can still Force of Will like a Goyf to get my Geist through.
Sure.
Whereas like the Storm decks are, I think, are just like a time for now as a recurrence to the Jund decks. So since the Jund decks are in Rise, the Storm decks are now here, and the other combo decks to beat those Jund decks.
Yeah.
So it's kind of the combat both in my deck.
Right, and you're also really, really good against Deathrite Shaman, let's not forget, because you have 8 turn 1 answers on the draw.
Yep.
In Swords and Lightning Bolt, and you also have Grim Lavamancer, which is obviously just amazing against Deathrite Shaman.
Well, I also wanted to play 11 removal spells because since Geist isn't really a big body, I need to be able to clear the way so I can attack with him multiple times.
Right.
So even though he has hexproof and they can't target him, because you know even like Bob trades with him still, and I don't want them to untap with Bob, of course, or Goyf, or any of these other large creatures that they can put in front of Geist. So by having a vast amount of removal spells, I can clear the way for Geist, which is something that Rug usually didn't have. The Rug Delver decks used to have like Goyf and Nimble to go over the top of them, so they didn't really need as much removal.
Right. Let's move to your sideboard. One interesting card that not a lot of people are playing anymore is Engineered Explosives.
Yep.
What's that for?
It's mostly for elves. And again, it's like if I play against like a random Rug deck to deal with Nimble Mongoose, because that's one card that trumps Geist that I can't have let you target also. So also like sometimes Goblins, even though Goblins has like a wide range, to deal with like a vast amount of tokens maybe, or to deal with like Vile and Lackey. But mostly elves and mostly Nimble Mongoose.
One card that I hate seeing played against me, because I've played a lot of Maverick in the past, is Sulfur Elemental.
Right.
What's that in this current metagame?
Mostly for Esper Stoneblade, even though it's another 3-drop and I don't want to clog my 3-drop a lot. Sulfur Elemental is really good against Lingering Souls, and Lingering Souls obviously clogs the board, makes it so I can't get through Geist. I can't just like randomly bolt one Lingering Soul token to get through my Geist.
Right.
So it really just takes up a lot of space. So playing one Sulfur Elemental that they can't deal with gives me another body that I can attack with, and still deals with their defenses.
Right, and another card that this type of deck has trouble with, that I've seen actually an uptick in the blue-white control decks, is Elspeth.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
so it's a very good trump on Elspeth for most of the time, obviously.
Right, not all the time.
+1 fly over with your Batterskulls is still a problem.
Yeah, absolutely.
But most of the time it's making soldiers, and that's a pretty good answer.
Right. Plus we can also attack it with Sulfur Elemental too. It's nice to be able to have another threat and deal with one of our,
They can't be countered.
Right, absolutely. So if I want to keep up counter spells too, like Spell Pierce or Daze or whatever, or even Stifle still, I can still keep up that mana or play Sulfur Elemental depending on how the game goes.
So this looks like a really good response to Jund.
Right.
Is basically what I'm trying to say. So if you're still out there looking to play Delver of Secrets, and I know a lot of you are, and you're hankering to pair it with Geist again, especially, this might be the deck for you. So thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.